Please be sure to subscribe to the channel to update the fastest and most accurate news.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my Journalism of the Heart news channel. The story for today is pretty much the whole world already knew that Hollywood romances suck, but now comes news that the stars of the entertainment world have taken this a bit too literally. Megan Fox and fiance Machine Gun Kelly, real name Colson Baker, recently announced that they drink each other's blood as a testament to their love. Perhaps they have become so used to being stabbed in the face with Botox and fillers that hypodermics seem like nothing. Or maybe, like the Carly Simon song, they're just so vain, sorry. Fox is perhaps best known for being the hot babe Michaela in several of the Transformers movies. Her character was allegedly a mechanic, although I'm pretty sure TAFE would not approve of what Michaela used to do under the bonnet of a car. My best mate Ronnie used to be a mechanic until he injured his back. I thought it was from leaning over engine blocks and lifting heavy tires all the time. But if he had worked on cars like Michaela in Transformers, it would have surely come from all that back arching and aggressively thrusting his cleavage at customers. Meanwhile, Kelly, or Colson, is a crap singer. Silly me, I misread his online bio. Actually he's a rap singer. Or maybe both. Anyway, this isn't even the weirdest part. Because outlets like TMZ immediately raced off to get comments from vampire organizations. I'm assuming they had to wait until after sunset to contact them, but the glamour couple eventually received advice from the New Orleans Vampire Association's Belfazar Ashanterson. I'd say that's unlikely to be his real name, and I'm guessing he was probably born Barry Arkwright or something similar. He suggested that Fox and Kelly were risking several bloodborne diseases and he advised getting tested first. He said he likes to get to know his blood donors for at least 6 months before drinking their blood. Well, that process would make for a rather boring horror movie. Scene: vampire sneaks into the maiden's bed chamber and looms over her, Fang's bed. As she wakes, a scream forming in the back of the throat, he whips out a test tube and takes a small sample from her finger. I just need to get this tested, love, before I can have a fair old suck at your throat, he says, strangely affecting a Bogan accent. You're free next Tuesday for a midnight bike ride so we can chat about any possible drug habits and previous sexual partners? Vampires aren't even hot right now. Twilight is, thankfully, a distant memory, with Robert Pattinson changing from a vampire into a Batman. And Jared Leto's Morbius didn't exactly get pulses racing, with a measly 17% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Still, Fox and Kelly do seem genuinely deluded. I mean, genuinely in love. And perhaps this could be the next big diet to sweep Hollywood, kind of like a Super Atkins meal plan. Drew Barrymore already poked fun at that with her zombie-com Santa Clarita diet, so it's not a huge stretch. Bizarrely, that show didn't inspire any helpful comments from local zombie organizations. I'm guessing it's because zombies are attracted to brains and there's precious few of those around Hollywood. Disney not playing ball with strange request. There were horrific scenes in Saudi Arabia this week, as audiences fled screaming in terror from cinemas and society broke down, with people and animals turning on each other and the country dissolving into flames and chaos. Of course that never happened, because the brave men, yes, men, because women aren't allowed to do such important work, on Saudi Arabia's censorship board stepped in and stopped the new Doctor Strange movie from ending society as they know it. But what was it in this Marvel superhero movie that almost triggered the complete meltdown of a country? Well, it wasn't the depictions of evil, magic, multiple personalities and futures. No, those were all fine. It was 12 seconds of dialogue where new superhero America Chavez, ex-Equital Gomez, talks about having, wait for it, 2 mothers. Completely unacceptable. Why, using male supremacist logic, there could be a direct link between a lesbian relationship and a child with superpowers. Those eagle-eyed censors saw the danger there. If Saudi women were to hear a young woman, who appears not just normal and well-adjusted, but also possesses powers, talking about her 2 mothers, they would all instantly become lesbians in an attempt to create more superpowered children. Why, they could even throw off their niqabs, start driving, working and demanding equal rights. Who knows where that could end? I had 2 mothers. A genetic mother and a stepmother, who were coincidentally both called Rosemary. Infuriatingly, I have never been able to fly or lift cars with one hand. And telling dad jokes, as my children constantly remind me, is definitely not a superpower. On a slightly serious note, I have to applaud Disney for not giving in and cutting this footage. Perhaps it is a sign that film companies are willing to take a stand and not just bow to pressure to produce movies that don't include anything that could upset the delicate sensibilities of dictatorships and autocracies. I mean, it's fine to order your critics to be chopped into pieces and their families skinned alive, but to have to sit through 12 seconds of dialogue implying lesbians can be happy is cruel and unusual torture. Chief Censor Nawab Al-Saban told AFP, "It's a simple edit. So far they have refused. But we haven't closed the door. We're still trying. That means they are still waving fat wads of cash at Disney." Let's hope Disney keeps Scrooge McDuck away from the negotiations. It's also a reminder that no matter how many sports the Saudis sponsor, it is still a country where homosexuality can be punished by death. Benedict Cumberbatch, who plays Doctor Strange, said, "It's difficult not to become emotional about it, to be honest. But it is, I'm afraid, an expected disappointment. I take it the Saudis didn't watch his role as Alan Turing, the genius who helped crack the German Enigma code in World War II. Turing was one of the fathers of computing, and committed suicide because he was being persecuted for being gay. No doubt there wouldn't be a working computer left in Riyadh had that film been screened, as terrified men smashed their screens before their laptop gave them a lap dance." Brilliant plan to stop Netflix's subscriber drain. It seems Netflix is losing subscribers faster than Squid Game lost contestants during a game of red light, green light. This week it announced it had shed 200,000 subscribers and told Variety magazine it expected to lose another 2 million in the second quarter of 2022. Netflix blamed increased competition from all the other news streamers, as well as password sharing. It could also be the same number of people who watched the hideous Melissa McCarthy film Thunder Force and cancelled their subscription in protest against a company that could approve such a crime against superhero films. Anyway, this is apparently the first time it has posted a net loss in subscribers in a decade. Unsurprisingly, it plans to crack down on password sharing. And, to woo those tight asses who use their mate's password, it is going to offer a cheaper monthly subscription, if you are willing to watch adverts during the shows. I can only see problems with this. After all, nobody likes adverts during shows. So obviously Netflix plans to lure people in with a cheap rate, then irritate the absolute hell out of them with crappy adverts until they pay the extra $5 a month or whatever to get rid of them. Interestingly, it doesn't plan to use data tracking on subscribers. That means you won't see the situation where you are watching a show and checking out some holiday options on your phone, only to see endless invitations to travel to Western Australia or North Korea. Very similar attitudes to tourists in the next Netflix ad break. What that does give advertisers is a real opportunity to tailor the adverts to a specific show. Think of the opportunities. I certainly have and will take a modest commission from Netflix for the following ideas. The Korean Zombie Fantasy Kingdom and Zombie Outbreak Show All of Us Are Dead are both brilliant and worth a month's subscription alone. But imagine the cross-promotion as one of the zombies rips out someone's throat and throws its head back so you can see the bloody chunk of flesh in its mouth. Then cut to a burger ad. Sink your teeth into this prime meat. Juicy and delicious, and why not ask for extra tomato sauce? Obviously The Crown is going to be packed full of adverts for Harry and Meghan's various money-making ventures. That would be just perfect. You'd have Princess Diana exclaiming, "They're just trying to cash in on my popularity," and then up pops Meghan and Harry's new oat milk smoothies. Yes, they're bitter but drink 'em anyway, because we know what's best for you. Or what about the future shock show Black Mirror, which explores the dark side of technology? Watch as a character's mind is possessed by computers, and then cut to the extensive new range at Harvey Norman. Then there's Stranger Things, where the characters enter the Upside Down, where nothing makes sense and a strange, powerful blob is trying to take over the world. And cut to one of Clive Palmer's anti-vax-filled election adverts. But the real money spinner would of course be Thunder Force. People would happily watch adverts in that just to get their eyes away from the diabolically bad main feature. Miller's career blows up in a flash. Ezra Miller seems to have destroyed a career as the Flash, and perhaps his movie career as well. For those who haven't been following the story, Miller was Barry Allen, the Flash, in both the panned 2017 Joss Whedon version of Justice League, as well as the stunning 2021 Zack Snyder version. Miller was the best thing about Justice League and brilliant in the reimagined version, so was rewarded with a solo Flash movie, but now there are serious questions about it. Miller was already on thin ice over a 2020 video incident in Iceland where the actor appeared to grab a female fan around the neck. No charges were ever laid and Miller has never commented about it. That might have been enough to get most actors cancelled, certainly straight male ones. Miller is non-binary and identifies as they, them. Whether it was Miller's brilliance as an actor or something else, they were rewarded with both The Flash and a leading role in the Fantastic Beasts franchise as Dumbledore's brother. Then came news of Miller's arrest in Hawaii over a bar incident, which was apparently triggered by karaoke. Look, I have a lot of sympathy with Miller on this one. In my opinion, karaoke is enough to ruin any night. But it seems it did not end there, with claims of harassing a man playing darts and then breaking into a couple's hotel room. Who knows what is real and what is hyperbole? But it seems Warner Bros. Is worried. This week Rolling Stone reported that an emergency meeting had been held, and the Flash release pushed back from November to June next year. Warner Bros. Later said it wasn't an emergency meeting. No doubt after all the Johnny Depp dramas, the Justice League fights and former Warner CEO Kevin Sugihara resigning in 2019 over a #MeToo scandal, this was probably just an ordinary meeting. Yet insiders have reported Miller was volatile on set and recent reports claim they were out partying again, even after the arrest and a restraining order filed by the karaoke couple. There's no doubt that becoming a teenage star and then having to deal with your sexuality in a blaze of publicity has to affect you mentally. But the question remains, will Miller stay on as the Flash? Fans are already calling for the excellent TV version of the superhero, Grant Gustin, to replace them. With more than 12 months before it hits cinemas, there's enough time to replace Miller with Gustin, as well as enough time for Miller to clear their name and rehabilitate themselves. So which way will Warner Bros. Jump? At stake is not just the Flash but a wider DC universe and also the Fantastic Beasts series. One of the powers that the Flash showed in the Snyder version of JL was the ability to turn back time. That might come in handy about now. Still, if all else fails, Miller can always team up with another fallen DC character, Will Smith's Deadshot. Smith's $20 million US price tag had killed off hopes of a solo movie, but, after slapping Chris Rock, his price is at rock bottom. I'd say this could be a great duet, but I already know that Miller hates karaoke. That is all for today news. Please make sure to leave your comment and subscribe the channel below for more news update.